Hi, everybody. How are you? Welcome, welcome. I am Michele Amburgey, the Awakener. Chances are you guys are awakeners too. There's a lot of us here on the planet right now that are here for this time of spiritual evolution, this time of great change on this planet. And we're seeing things changing a lot, aren't we? It's absolutely amazing. And so I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy that you guys have all come. We've already got Lillian and Karen here. Welcome, welcome, guys. And Spirit Song, super good. I do want to apologize. I didn't make it last week. I had internet issues. And I just, it was one of those things where it was on all day long and I went to go get on and it kept kicking me off. And I got just like so frustrated. And I just went, fine, fine, fine. So apologize, just couldn't make it on, but we're here today and that's what matters. And we're still going to talk about dreams and why dreams are so important. Um, I, dreaming is such an interesting thing because it's really something where we kind of go out into another space, consciously. And I find dreaming fascinating because, in a way, it's kind of like time traveling, it's quantum jumping, it's all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of thoughts around when you're dreaming, maybe we're in the real world. Maybe it's even crazier than here. And depending on what kind of dreams you have, that's another thing. There's so many different kinds of dreams, so many different ways of dreaming. And dreams have so many different meanings. A lot of it, you can buy books, massive books. And I meant to grab mine. I forgot to grab it. I apologize. On dream symbology, like what dreams mean. But one of the things that I do when I do dream interpretation for clients and stuff is it's like, what did the things mean to you? Because a dog will mean different things to different people. If someone is afraid of a dog and they dream of a dog, it's going to represent fear. Or for someone who's super psychic and is prophetic, a dog might mean there's a dog coming in their life. There's a lot of different things. And so I find that dreaming is fascinating. And one of the ways to really learn about what your dreams mean and what they mean to you is to start journaling them, start keeping track of them. And, we have such great technology that we don't have to just write it down, right? We can pull out our cell phones and just record our dreams with our little voice memo thing. It's a lot of different ways you can do it. And for those of you that are super technically advanced, you can record it in your phone, you can transfer it to your computer, and it will translate out into a transcript for you. I haven't got that far in technology, but I know it can be done. And so there's a lot of ways, that can really help you along the way. But I always recommend that you do write it down because there's some beautiful magic that happens between your brain and your fingertips when you write things. It anchors things in. It helps you to remember. A lot of times when you start writing, it's all of a sudden, oh yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, it was blue. And oh yeah, there was a flag there. Oh yeah, and the flag was green. And so there's something that's really magical about actually handwriting it. And so that's really what I recommend. But not everybody can do that. I know I can't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning after a crazy dream and write anything down. And so, but there's a lot of different ways to keep track of it. One of the one of the things that's really cool about dreaming too is that we can do it consciously. We can make an intention. We can make a protocol. We can set the field. We can set it up for us to be able to dream consciously, to dream maybe an answer to something. Tonight in my dreams, I really need to get an answer as to which house to buy, or should I move or not move? What is for my highest good? And there's a lot of different ways that you can do that and that you can bring that to the forefront of your subconscious dreaming mind and get answers for that too. And it just so happens I'm having a class on June 17th around dreaming. And I'm going to be teaching how to do lucid or conscious dreaming. I'm going to teach you guys about dream symbology. I'm going to teach you some little techniques in how to journal, and I'm going to teach you a really special way that I do dream interpretation, where everything is around you. Hi, Gail. Hi, Miss Jules. Everybody's here today. Thank you. And a special way that I learned, gosh, a long, long time ago, that I've been using for years, and I've never really seen anybody other than the group that I learned it with, the people that was around that, um, do it this way. And it's really, really fascinating because it gets into interpreting those dreams from your point of view, from how you see it, from what it is with you. So it's really, really cool. So I hope you guys will take the class, those of you that are interested in it. It's June 17th, and you can find out more information on my website. My website is micheleamburgey.com. And anything that you guys ever want to find out about my calendar, upcoming classes, YouTubes, any of the oh my gosh, I can't think this morning. Um, any of the classes and stuff that you want to take that I have recorded, you can find it all under Conscious Living Academy. There's a tab at the top on my website, Conscious Living Academy. It has all that kind of stuff in there. And I got a lot of more stuff. I've got the services that I do. I've got blogs. I've got access to all my stuff. I got Patreon. I've got a podcast. And so you guys can find all of that if you ever need help in navigating. And you can always contact me too. So yeah, that class is on there. I highly recommend, if you're into the dreamy thing, to take it. It's so worth it. Because what I teach you are all of the elements that you need to really begin to use your dreams as a tool for spiritual growth, for transformation, for awakening. And one of the things that I find really fascinating, I kind of want to go back to this, is our dreams just things we make up? Are dreams just things that our subconscious mind makes up to help us solve a problem or bring something to our attention? That's a common belief. That's a common thought. A lot of basic psychology, psychiatry, kind of believe that way, that's kind of how it goes. And that kind of makes sense. But is dreaming another dimension in which we're literally quantum leaping, quantum jumping into another realm to experience this whole thing that the subconscious mind is bringing up? Or are we actually going to another dimension, a parallel universe, and experiencing what that is? I know a lot of people that have night terrors. It's really, really scary. But I also know people that have night terrors that learn to stand up and say, no, go away, don't bother me, or come out with a warrior stance. A lot of times those night terrors will end because you've faced the fear, you've gone into it. So are we quantum leaping? Are we going into another dimension and fighting these things, processing these things, facing our demons, facing our fears, facing our hurts, and then coming back into this place? That a lot of people think this place is the dreamland, and the dreamland is a real thing. In meditation, in hypnosis, in dreaming is more of a reality than we are here. It's fascinating. The realm of the mind is vast and absolutely fascinating. When I was in college, I wanted to study psychology, and I just didn't get that far. It wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. It didn't have the spiritual element, and that's what I needed. I didn't even know then. But there's things that you can do to help yourself dream of things that you need to dream of, to for lack of putting it a better way. And one of them, and I know a lot of you guys have heard about this, but before you go to bed, you do a little meditation and you ask a question. I need guidance on this. So here's what that's going to look like. I always say, do prayer and meditation. Dear God, Goddess, Creator, I am. Please help me with the situation at hand, and please show me an answer that I can apply into my life that will be useful and beneficial. Write it down in your journal. right? Handwrite it in your journal before you go to sleep. And then pay attention to what happens. When you first get started, sometimes it might take a couple nights. You might have to do it a few nights in a row before you kind of start having a response. Be patient. Be patient. It's not like turning a light switch on and off. You have to train yourself. It's like learning to run a 5K. You have to start with 3 steps, right? But your body, your mind, your consciousness will catch on really quick because everything desires to serve you. The only thing that really fights us is our own self, our own programming, our own belief systems, our own doubt. Doubts. Doubts get in the way of more stuff. Is that real? And I have a lot of people ask me, because I work in the realm of the unreal, right? And the unreal is more real than this thing that we're living in. That's what I believe. I think this is a dream time of sorts. But people get caught up on, is this real? And it's like, if it's moving through your mind, because your mind is the creator, yeah, it's real. Can someone else experience it and verify it? No. But we've been told for so long that only science is real. Only that's real, right? The old trust the science thing. Only that's real. And that's not true because science has not even begun to catch up with what consciousness can do. Science hasn't even begun to catch up with what this amazing tool here can do. Now, what holds a lot of us back is we've been programmed. We have belief systems. We have belief systems from family, from school, from religion, from culture, from nationality, from the country you live in, this world, and any of the other things that it cost you throughout your early years. Educational systems do a lot of programming, and a lot of that is good. Programming is kind of how we learn to read and write. But we get a lot of that stuff in there, and we lose track of ourselves. We lose track of who we are. And because of that, this thing called the ego that runs the mind begins to take over and begins to demand that its needs be done. And one of the needs of the ego is to keep you safe, right? And so the ego is trying to keep you safe. And so if you're doubting some idea that is not anchored in the current belief system that you're living in, right? That you're awake in the asleep time. um, it tells you to doubt it. It tells you to be afraid. It tells you to run away. It tells you, things even to the point of you're going to die, because the ego is there to keep you alive, to keep you safe. And everything from the past is what has programmed the ego on how to keep you safe. And so people with a lot of trauma have a lot of difficulty getting around that which controls their mind until they get to the point where they can begin to control their mind. It's called mindfulness, right? That's why we pray. That's why we meditate. That's why we take quiet time. That's why we be mindful of what we're thinking and saying and doing and feeding our mind on, feeding our soul on, right? And so when we start consciously dreaming, what we're doing is we're turning this around. We're giving ego a break, and we're saying, okay, mind, I'm talking directly to you. And something that's really important to know is to understand that we are the captain of our ship, right? We're the ones that tell this brain what to do, whether we do it subconsciously, whether we do it through egoic kind of stuff, whether we do it through belief system filters, whatever that is. We're always telling the mind to put out the signals to create. So we can do it consciously and in alignment with what is really good for our soul, or we can do it unconsciously, which is usually based on survival. And so we can start becoming the captain of the ship and start programming our mind to dream our answers. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about that, because it's really important that we all begin to understand that we're in control of the mind. And a lot of people are like, no, I'm not. And that's okay. We can't all be there at the same time. Everybody gets there eventually, where they begin to explore the mind. They begin to explore the possibilities of the mind. And that's when we open up a whole new world. And that's why I get back to this whole thought. It's like, is this world that we're in right now, is this real? as we're seeing everything shifting and changing, and we're seeing, all this crazy stuff going on in the world, it's like, is this even real? Is the dream world real? Are our daydreams real? Does there have to be only one reality? Can there be many realities? There's a lot of teachings and traditions that teach that we're multidimensional. I happen to be one of those people that does teach that. We're multidimensional. We exist in many different realms, in many different places, in many different ways. I happen to believe, just because of so many mystical experiences, that it is that way because we are God. God is creator, universal mind, source, the all that is, whatever word we want to use. I call eternal loving presence, is experiencing this here through us. And it is vast, omnipotent, omnipresent, everywhere powerful, everywhere present. That why couldn't that presence, that eternal loving presence, be experiencing itself through many different uses? It's kind of like, when I think about that stuff, it's kind of like, wow, why can't it? Or them or they or whatever it is. I believe it's just consciousness itself experiencing itself in a density, in a physical form, to experience what it is to be in a physical form. Maybe even to experience what it is to have this egoic aspect of the consciousness that's connected to this physical form, not completely, but is very connected to this physical form. And to experience that level of consciousness, hey there, and how that is being experienced through a sentient form, a form that has densified itself all the way down to where we can feel and touch and taste, where we have this beautiful sensuous experience of being able to feel and have emotions and have our hearts, and to experience vast joy and beauty and amazement, and also the depths of pain and suffering as well, right? And so it's fascinating. The mind is a fascinating place to play in. And I believe that, this time that we're in, that it's time that we start exploring the mind, because that's where creation takes place. It's my belief that everything that we have so far, everything that we've done so far, we've created that consciously and unconsciously, right? For those of us who have experiences where we keep making the same mistake over and over and over, it's like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? And when we begin to break free from thinking it's happening to us, and to begin to entertain the possibility that, well, maybe I'm making this happen, and then it takes another, 5 years to figure out, well, okay, I'm making it happen. How am I doing it? If you're smarter than me, it only takes you a little bit. But then we start doing that and we start realizing, well, maybe if I make a different choice, maybe if I think a different thing, maybe if I do things a little bit differently, maybe if I shake up some of my patterns. And when you begin to do that, you begin to realize that you really do shape your decisions and your experiences. And that's when you can begin to play in the arenas of consciousness. And then you go deep and you go into the dreams and you start playing with the dream time. And it opens up a vastness that is limitless, it's endless. What can you do? And we're so lucky because we live in a time where exploring the mind is, a lot of people are doing it. There's a lot of availability. There's a lot of, especially in the, the spiritual circles, but also in some of the psychiatry and psychology and all that, exploring the mind, the content of the mind, and the concepts of the mind, and the vastness of the mind. Isn't that exciting? You can begin to use your mind to not only program to get answers what you want, but to program your body to heal, to program your mind, your emotions to heal, to program your life. You can begin lucid dreaming and go and talk to your favorite grandma who passed away 10 years ago. It's a lot of things that you can do. A lot of things that you can explore in the vastness of the mind. And so thank you so much. I'm so glad that you guys all came here. We're interested in this topic. I don't want to get too far into it because I am going to, next week, I'm going to talk about 3 tips to help you Plan your dreams, remember your dreams, and journal your dreams. So I'm going to give you some specific tips. And then also, hey, Linda. And then also, I've got the class on the 17th. So it's not this weekend, it's following weekend. And I'm doing it that weekend because it's right before the solstice. I picked it that weekend because it's right before the solstice. And the solstice is so powerful because it's bringing light, right? It's the longest day, it's the longest time of light. And it is such a powerful time to move into consciously working with your mind and to move into giving yourself permission to expand your consciousness in this time of expansion, in this time of ascension and awakening. It gives you an opportunity to really do that. And it's kind of like working out. When you stretch the mind, when you expand its ideas, you are giving yourself permission, you're giving yourself an opportunity to have more to work with, right? Because you literally, when you learn new things, when you explore new things, especially things of the mind, you light up your brain. You light up. You join together, knit together new pathways in the brain. You fire up some new neurons that maybe have been sitting there a little dormant or a little bit quiet, sitting over in the corner, going, "I'm not going to have to work too hard this lifetime." Right? Because our brain is another. It's a field that we don't even understand. It's like, what is all that in that little thing, just a little bit? And it's connected to consciousness. All that electromagnetic energy in there, all those little cells in there that are replicating deep, deep within are all a part of that too. And it creates the mind. All of this physicality of the brain, of the physical brain, creates the mind. And the mind is not the brain. The mind really isn't even in the brain. The mind exists separately, but as a part of. Just like we exist separately from God, we'll just use that word, but we're still a part of it. We ourselves are little mini gods, right? We have a brain that's creating all of this. And the mind is a part of that creation. It's separate from, but it's completely connected to. It's amazing. It's an amazing field. So I hope you guys will join me for that class. And I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of this information. Another thing too that leads you into it, for those of you that are intuitive, if you're intuitive, and people are really beginning to understand the level of intuition that they have. A lot of people are born with it. It's just how they operate. They never even think of it as intuition, right? They never even think of it as like, I'm intuitive. I just know stuff. I just operate. But that's all another part of the brain. People that are psychic, intuitive, people that are empaths, people that are, what do they call that? ESPs, oh no, that's extrasensory. HSPs, highly sensitive people. That's all another part of the brain that's activated. And that's good. That's opportunity, right? And a lot of times, the way our society is, it's like, oh no, there's something wrong with you if you're different, or if you don't function within the little box that we're supposed to fit into. There's something wrong with you. And it's no, there's something very right with you. ADD, ADHD, even autism and Asperger's, and all the various ranges of that. When we start looking at what that really is, and when science finally decides that it's going to work for humanity and not for whatever they're working for, we're going to find that those beings who come in with those situations are bringing something very, very important onto the planet. I know from my own experience, I had a friend that had a son that had autism. And when he was little, I used to love to read books with him, and he would get in there and he would read. And one day he didn't want to read anymore, and he just wanted to play with his toys. So I continued reading the book. And in my mind, I go, the cow goes, and all of a sudden he goes, moo. And I went, oh, well, how cute, What a cute coincidence. And the duck goes, quack. And I was like, no way. So I turned back to the beginning of the book, and there was one in there where the farmer says, ha, 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 and I was making that sound. And I, in my mind, I go, and the farmer goes, and he goes, ha, ha, ha. I went, oh my God, this kid is reading my mind. And so I went through the whole book. He didn't get all of them, but he got most of them, but he was getting bored and wandering around too. And so what I did with that is I went, like when I would go to maybe out to dinner or something like that, and I would see, a child that looked like they were on that spectrum somewhere. A lot of times they're sitting there, they're kind of doing their thing, and everybody's around them, and you can always kind of see they're drifting, their attention is other places and stuff. And I would always just kind of connect up with them with my heart, and they'd always look over and look, and I would just say, "Hey, you're beautiful. I see you." And their face would light up and they'd look around, and I wouldn't stay too much in their fields, but it was like, "I see you. There's something very special about you." And so I think it's really important that, in that whole thing of the topic of the mind, that we keep that kind of stuff in mind. And even mental illness. What is it really? Why have we institutionalized these people instead of exploring in a loving, gentle way what's going on, right? Expanding out into the spiritual nature of that. So that just excites me. That excites me because I think that's part of where we're moving towards when I talk about the new earth, right? Moving towards, being able to see what these beautiful beings are bringing into the planet, right? Excuse me, what are you bringing? What blessing are you bringing that we put in a box and said this is bad? There's so much to do. And for those of you too that are interested in new earth stuff, I have a Facebook group that is called New Earth Leadership. It's called New Earth Leadership Group, and it is a public group, and we're going to start having meetings. And so anybody that is interested in becoming part of what I'm calling the Visionary Council, where we're going to start getting together, and we're going to start, oh, I don't know 100% what it is, but we're going to start envisioning a new earth. What do we want? And it's going to be envisioning, but it's also going to be very heart-centered, very love-centered. And we're going to talk about this, and we're going to create a group of, and I'm going to use this word, dedicated, discipled people who want to lend to that. I'm feeling very, very strongly that Mother Earth, the universe, the consciousness of the all that is really calling for the people who know that they're here to do this work to kind of start gathering together, because there's that term, it's in the Bible, it's in many other things, where two or more together, there I am in the midst. And I think maybe it was Jesus that said that, this is a universal principle he was teaching. It wasn't just he is in the midst, although he probably is. I love him. But when we gather together, we're more powerful. And so when we begin to come together and we begin to envision this space of peace and harmony and love and true freedom and abundance and good health, where there is no illness. And as the old crumbles, we begin to create the new. And so I'm getting started on that. So for those of you that might be interested in that, please look me up on Facebook, or you can find me on Instagram. You can direct message me. You can email me. You can send a pigeon. You can smoke signal, however you do it, if you're really interested. And we're going to be starting up. Our first meeting is going to be in the next couple of weeks, probably on a Sunday afternoon. I'm on the Pacific Coast, so it'll probably be about 3 in Pacific time. And so, yeah, so we're doing that. So stuff is happening. Stuff is happening. We're going to begin to dream us a new earth, people. So come and be with me. So who wants a reading? Who wants a card? And does anybody have any questions? That's another thing. I love your questions. I love your participation. It lets me know. It lets me know that you guys are interested in what I'm talking about, and that you have an interest in what I'm talking about. Because the teachings are important, and the sharing this is so important and wonderful. So any questions, any concerns, any comments, I am open for that. And then we'll do a couple of readings when we get done. So let me see, what do we got here? Wow, we got a lot of people. We got 8 people on here. Welcome, guys. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm so glad you guys are here. All right. So And also, too, for those of you that don't know, I got so much stuff going on. I have people that see me here and they don't realize I have a whole website. I've got Facebook groups. I have another Facebook group. It's called Soulful Living Tribe, where it's just good people gathered together. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me, of course, here on YouTube, as you know. I'm also on Rumble. I got some feistier stuff on Rumble. Um, and I'm also on Patreon. I've got a Patreon site that's all meditation. So we have all that going on too. So I hope you guys, make contact and begin to get involved and begin to use what you have to create your your perfect world, because you have the power to do so. And some of us have said, okay, then I want to create blah blah blah. Well, it's not happening, so I don't have that power. It takes a little training. It takes a little time. It takes some patience, but it's amazing when you do it for a while how quickly things happen for you. And sometimes, they come from the mystical realms. Some of you know that I've been asking about, healing my body and really getting my body healed. I've got some autoimmune things going on. It's such pain in the neck, and it's thyroid and like that chronic fatigue thing where it's like I'm going along and woohoo, and this like crash and burn. I gotta sleep for 2 weeks. And it's amazing. And I've had all these wonderful things come to my mind. Am I healed? No, but I always feel better when I do that. And I always start getting information. I'm on YouTube and I'm what is his name? Dr. Berg. He's talking about B vitamin deficiency. I'm looking through it. I'm like, oh my God, this is totally what I'm experiencing. I start adding B vitamins. I'm feeling way better. Oh my gosh. Just a vitamin. This supplement cost me like, I don't know, $16 a month or something like that. There is a way to get all that you need. And it's really just getting yourself tuned in to your inner self. And you can get your own answers. You can heal your body. You can find the things that you need to do. You can have miracles and magical experiences. And it's super cool. So, oh, you know what, Ver? I'm going to answer Ver first. There, I am going to suggest, because I know and I can feel what you've got going on. Dr. Berg, Berg on YouTube. Go look at some of the stuff he's got. I'm sleeping a lot too. And I just kind of tend towards that kind of stuff. And I find that he has a lot of information. He explains it really good. And a lot of us are exhausted. You're sensitive, you're intuitive there. And a lot of us are exhausted because the energies are freaking intense. And they're very like spiky, bah, and then back off, right? And it's important that you're getting all the nutrients that you need, especially those B vitamins, because when the nervous system is stressed out, it zaps the B vitamins in our bodies. And you want to make sure that you're getting good B vitamins, because if you're buying them in the grocery store, off the counter at the grocery store, you're getting a lot of fillers, and some of them actually block you from even being able to absorb the B vitamins or any of the vitamins. And so you want to do a little bit of research in there. But Ver, let me pull some cards. I'm going to pull a card for you. Day napping, day napping. All right. So Ver, the card that I pulled up for you is called the Temple of Truth. And it's about the throat chakra. So it's very much Ver about expressing yourself. It's about being true to yourself. It's not speaking your truth like needing to tell somebody else what your truth is. It's speaking your truth to yourself, giving yourself the credit that you deserve, giving yourself permission to be really, really honest with yourself and not move into doubt, old programming, even into the past, right? A lot of times we define ourselves, our lives, our experiences, and our potential by what has happened in the past. What is past is past. It doesn't exist anymore unless you keep thinking about it. And so I feel like what this is this throat chakra, this being true to yourself, and the other words on here, authenticity and self-expression. And I really feel like, Bear, with how sensitive you are and with what a loving person you are, that it's time for you to let yourself know it, to let yourself know what a loving, precious person you are, and kind of claim your divine authority. Say, I am sacred and holy. I am sacred and holy. Because when you start doing that, your body shifts. We've spent so much of our time, and I'm saying lifetimes, being told you're a sinner, you're bad, you'll never measure up, especially the last 2,000 years. You know, we have this whole icon with this perfect Jesus, these perfect disciples, the Virgin Mary of all things, you know, that you'll never add up to. And we beat the crap out of ourselves. And that's just average stuff. And then when we're sensitive and we have all these weird things where we're sensitive to stuff and nothing's happening, and then we think we're crazy and we get angry at stuff and we're frustrated and we're sad, and it's just freaking exhausting. And so it's your job actually right now is coming through is to start being really loving to yourself and start telling yourself the truth of who you really are. And you are sacred, you are holy, and you are divine. And you need naps. And I know that's hard, especially if you're working the 9 to 5ers, right? But it's important. And I really want to suggest that you go look into what Dr. Berg is offering there, and that's from the doctor's mouth. You know, I'm not a doctor, and I don't claim to be one, but I can share from my experiences what I know to be true and can kind of lead you that way. So, Vera, I hope that helps. The chronic fatigue thing too. Um, Another thing that helped me with that too was making sure that I was drinking really good water, good clean water. I actually got a reverse osmosis filter on my sink, and got it that it puts the minerals and stuff back in it, and watching my minerals, getting my B's, getting my C's, getting my good vitamins, eating good and clean. Everything is so toxic anymore. Toxicity sometimes plays a part in that too. But all of that can be handled when you clean the toxicity out of your mind and your thinking too. So, Vera, I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Miss Jules, day napping. All right. So, does anybody have any question about dreaming or anything? Sometimes feel like you guys just come here just for free readings. What do I need to know? Karen, what do I need to know about my health for my highest good? Light immersion, full system upgrade, power recall. So yours is the spiritual journey, Karen. This is the Hathor light codes. Whenever the Hathors come up, it talks about frequency healing, frequencies. So it's going to be toning. It's going to be light language. It's going to be vocal sound healing. It's going to be listening to like the solfeggio, I don't know how you say it, music like the 432, the 528, all that kind of stuff is really, really important for you. And so, Karen, I would say right out of the gate, start doing some oming. Om. Put your 2 fingers and your thumbs together into a mudra. What this does is this connects your electrical system throughout your whole body. And Karen, start doing Om. Make sure you're taking time for prayer and meditation every day, and start doing some oming, because what that does is it vibrates the body, and it's that's the frequency of original creation. So it's going to help your body remember that its original divine blueprint is perfection, and it will help you a lot. And you can look into, I'm trying to think, I do vocal sound healing And I did a class a while ago, but the way it was, I didn't record it and put it out there because it's really intimate. So I do private vocal sound healing and teach people, how to do their own healing on themselves, if that would help. But it's the frequency of what you're putting in and around your body is really important, Karen. Make sure you're listening to music that's uplifting. Make sure you're doing that toning. I just heard that again. It's like toning, oming, Karen. So I hope that helps, honey. Miss Jules is saying, my mom has been having health issues. Your mother, Arcturian light codes, evolution, recalling power, future thinking. Okay, so one of the things that I'm feeling really strongly about your mom is you guys take the helm, okay? It's like you guys decide what kind of doctor you feel she needs, and it doesn't mean, a certain kind of doctor like a surgeon or a general pete, not like that, but the feeling of having a doctor who listens to her, who will allow her to express what she's doing and bring in the right doctor for you. Again, you're manifesting all of this stuff, you and your mom together. And I really feel like that there are good doctors, but it's kind of like there's so much crazy medical stuff going on out there. It's like you guys need to take command of this whole thing and say, no, the perfect right doctor is coming for mom. She's not allowed to have any doctors that are going to lead her astray or waste her time. That only the best doctors with the best intention, the best training, and who will listen to her, because I feel like your mom has something going on that she maybe doesn't know how to express or isn't sure how to say, because there's something kind of weird going on. And it's not a bad, horrible thing, but it's kind of a key feature in what a doctor needs to know. But I don't feel like she's being heard. I feel like they're throwing her into, oh yeah, it's just being old. Oh, it's just, you're a little overweight, lose a couple pounds. And I feel like it's something that's deeper than that. She's not being heard. So something that's really important is that you set some intentions and some focused, put some energy behind it to get her doctors who will listen to her and who she'll feel comfortable with to express to. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. I'd like to see her. Oh, and apparently my streams are coming undone. All right, guys. So tell me, can you guys hear me? Let me know. Something seems to have disconnected here. If one of you would put in the message that you can hear me, that'd be great. You're welcome, Ver. You're welcome, honey. All right. Spirit Song would like a card. Okay, Miss Jules. Thank you, honey. Okay, Spirit Song card for you. Oh, by the way, we're using darling Kyle Gray's Gateway of Light activation cards. Ooh, all right. Spirit Song, you got this cool card. This is a Horus card. It's also got a Merkaba on it. It says Soul Star activation, fulfilling soul contracts. And what I'm getting really strong for you, Spirit Song, is this isn't fulfilling old contracts that keep you trapped in something. It's like fulfilling your soul contract and what the heck you're doing here, remembering who you are. Okay. And I also want to say that there is an Egyptian connection to this recommendation, soul star activation. It's filling soul purpose. It's like it's not the past. It's why did you come here today? Why did you come here, literally here, right now, in this moment? Why did you come here today? And to start thinking of things that way, Spirit Song. What are you here to do? right? And I know you know. I think sometimes you're like, I don't know, but we all do that. When things aren't going along, it's like, am I just wasting my time? Do I just think I'm a healer? Do I just get on this YouTube and just yak my mouth off and nobody really gives a crap? It's like you get that sometimes. It's easy to. Um, but yeah, it's like what you're here to do, Spirit Song, because what you're here to do is very important. And don't get discouraged, when things don't work out the way you'd like them to, or people don't respond the way you like them to. um it's kind of a up and down thing. And something else that's important to remember, Spirit Song, is that people have so much access to the stuff that we do, that they are bombarded with information. They're bombarded with the possibilities, of people that do what we do. And a lot of times it's people just are just like squirrel, 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 right? And they can just get everything. And it can be kind of frustrating when you really are here to like do serious work with serious things. There's so much like stuff going on. So don't give up. You keep doing what you keep doing. Just like I keep showing up here every week that my internet will let me. um so yeah, keep doing it, honey. um Spirits, what is my I don't go by dream books. I don't use dream books. I know. I have a dream symbology book, and I haven't looked at it in 12, 13 years. Um, I do it all intuitively. And the class that I am going to teach, I'm going to have some minimal symbology, but I'm going to teach you guys the process, and it's amazing because it all comes from you. I know. It's basic symbology. Oh, Gayal, this card just jumped out of the card for you. So sorry, Spirit Song. I don't have an answer for you. So, Gayal, you're saying, I don't have a specific question. I just love your cards and explanations. Oh, you're so sweet. I enjoy the way you're reading. Send me on a new perspective. Very cool. So, here's your card: Ancestral Realm, Karmic Release, Healing the Lineage, and Having Boundaries. Look at that card. Isn't that beautiful? It's got the archway. For those of you that don't know, archways create frequency. When you walk between an arch, a lot of times it's like, oh, that's cool. There is so much, there's so much ancient knowledge and technology in the old buildings, and archways are huge. Archways, when you stand between archways, will actually balance your electromagnetic system. And so I am getting for you, Gayal, that part of what's going on with you right now is it's a rebalancing of your electromagnetic system. And it's like trust the process, go with it. And it's almost like, and I know with what happened with you a couple weeks ago, it's almost like, and this just sounds so crazy, and I thought it when you told me before, is the fall that you took like slammed you, and it's almost like it knocked things straight, even though it hurt. And I'm sorry, I've been praying for you, but it like knocked things straight. It's gotten you to where it's going to be more easy for you to let go of things that need to let go of, and to be and stay aligned with who you really are. And the card on here also talks about boundaries. And it's like, if things don't feel good for you, don't do them. Don't get involved in them. Don't get in the mix. There's going to be some things that you're going to start being like, oh my gosh, I've been watching this TV show, or I've been listening to this, or I've been doing this for 20 years now. All of a sudden, I'm kind of like, I don't want to do it anymore. Follow that instinct, because you're going through a shift. You're being shifted and changed. So trust it. And also, you got a angel up here. You've got this spinning. It's like DNA right here that's being presented, kind of angelic. Trust the process. Oops. Trust the process that you're going through. It's good. It's really good. It's really good. So thank you. I'm glad that you I'm glad that you like these. That's good. I love that. I love to hear that um it helps with a new perspective because I come on here, I'm going to tell you my secret. I come on here and entice you with free readings so that you guys will come and listen to the teachings so that I can be a farmer and sprinkle these teachings and these thoughts and these perceptions into your minds. And then these are the enticement for you guys to come. I'm naughty, but that's what I do. Because if I just got on here and did readings all day long, what good would I be doing anyone? And there's a million people out there that'll give you free readings. Not as good as mine. No, there's a lot of really good readers out there. But it's the teachings. I'm a teacher. I'm here to guide. I'm a way shower. I'm a new earth visionary. And it's time for this. And so when I come on here and I shared all these little bits of knowledge that I do, I'm putting little tidbits of goodness in your little ears and in your little brains. So I appreciate that you say that too, y'all. So yes, so good. And thank you so much that you guys let me know that you're doing. I had a little sign come up saying that your stream failed. So I don't know what that means. All right. Very good. Very good. All right. Oh, cool, Linda. The 40s style archway in my house. Yeah, arches are really powerful, you guys. That's why any in the old stuff, anytime you went through a doorway, you went through into someplace like really sacred. A lot of times they built them in the homes. Every time you did it, like cleared your energy. It creates certain frequency fields. It's like there's so much in architecture that has been lost slash hidden slash I don't know. But now we have all these square buildings made out of glass and windows and metal and all that kind of stuff. And you look at some of the old buildings, there are technological spiritual secrets in all those ancient buildings with the huge spires, with copper tips on them. They drew ether out of the air. They drew energy out of the air. Tesla talked about all that stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. So when you go into all those old buildings, if you ever go to England or anywhere in Europe, really, or any of the old cathedrals, even on the East Coast, we don't have a lot of them out here in California or on the West Coast so much. We're so new. We forget that this country is only a couple hundred years old, and the Native Americans, their life was not the grand buildings, but was union with Mother Earth. But even teepees, the energy of teepees, them being round, they work with the elements, they work with the circular nature of life. And it coming up to that, people are like, oh, it's so the smoke will go out. No, it's an energy thing. It's focusing energy and the energy of the stars. Most of the Native Americans were connected to star beings. And so there's a lot more to it too. We just some of the stuff we told is so dumb. It's almost like, how did we ever believe this stuff? Spirit song, yeah, being called by Merkabahs. Yep. Merkabahs are powerful. I've got them all over my house. Matter of fact, I got one hanging right there with the little heart-shaped selenite in them. They're really powerful. They hold space really good. And if you can get a Merkabah that spins, it's amazing what kind of energy it'll do. Just just in case you have an opportunity. And there's actually healing. I saw somebody had a Merkabah. It was made out of crystal, and it wasn't very big. It was only about this big. But you would tap it with something and it would sing, and then they'd spin it. Oh my God. The healing on that was absolutely amazing. It was stunning. It was stunning how powerful it was. And I had them hold it over my crown chakra, and my eyes rolled up in the back of my head. So Merkabahs are really powerful. They're the light body, the light vehicle that we used to travel around in. Also, another thing about Merkabahs, and I don't know if this is all of them, but they are actually spaceships When we develop our Merkaba bodies and we develop our light bodies to where we can use those to move from space to space in, we're going to be on our way to becoming, part of a greater intergalactic nation. But if you guys have ever seen up in the sky and you see little balls, they go, oh, it's an ET, it's an ET. Well, I've always felt like it was something that was very organic. It's like it's not a spaceship, but what is it? And there's that show that was called Skinwalker Ranch, and they had like 3 seasons, and I think they just put another one out. Now, that show had a lot of really scary stuff, but I really respect what these guys are doing, and the guy that owns that ranch, I really respect him. And they've got such great technology, but they respect what they're doing too, right? Well, they had this technology and they caught some of these balls on film and then focused in, and these things are spinning, and I'm looking at it, all of a sudden I went, oh my god, that's a Merkaba. And I could see, I don't know if they saw it, I don't know if they had the eyes to see what I could see, but it was a spinning Merkaba, and there was a presence sitting in the middle of that Merkaba, and all of a sudden I just went, oh my god, that's how so many beings travel. You create your Merkaba. Either you've created a Merkaba and then you walk over it, you get into it like a car and you connect consciously with it and you go and do, or you create it around you and then go and do. I don't know, because I haven't gotten that far. I'm trying. But yeah, the Merkaba is really powerful. So play with that and find out. Gael is saying, I love it. Archways and angels and DNA. And about the balancing, right on. When I drop back into the old patterns, it feels icky. Yeah. Yeah. And it isn't shifting back. And we're in this third dimensional realm, Gael, and we will go back and forth. We will. We just will. Sometimes we need to drop back into the density to handle things. We got to pay bills. We got to wash dishes, we got to do laundry, we got to do stuff like that. But we can also, sing while we do it, or play good music and that kind of stuff, so we can lift ourselves. But it's easy to get back into old patterns. I do it all the time. And the key is catch yourself. And like you said right there, you're getting better and better. It's shifting back to you. And that's what's so important. That's what's so important. We don't want to beat ourselves up to where, oh man, I did it again. I spent a half a day and not even thinking, of what I'm doing, being unconscious. That's okay. You're allowed. You're allowed. As long as you kind of get back, you catch yourself. And the more you catch yourself, the more you bring yourself back, easier it is to integrate staying in those higher frequencies. And that's what we're all doing right now. And that's why the New Earth Visionary Council that I'm starting up from the New Earth Leadership Group on Facebook is going to start working on that, and working on getting, as a collective, getting ourselves in those states, support each other, and to begin to support, the forward movement of a more advanced, loving, kind earth. And so I hope any of you that are interested in that will come join us as well. So, guys, thank you. The hour is already over. It's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me teach my teachy things. And for being so awesome. You're all beautiful, sacred, and holy. And I hope that you hold that in your heart. And I hope that you remind yourself throughout the week, so that when we meet next time, you guys will be like, yeah, I'm sacred and holy. You're darn tootin' I am. I love you guys. Everybody have a good week, and we'll see you next week. Be good.